today in Cameroon. Our focus today is the Toronto meeting, which brought together stakeholder political upheaval in the two English-speaking regions of the country to seek a path to peace or return to normalcy in those regions of the country. We shall be analyzing on that lone headline as relayed by many newspapers this morning in Cameroon. And Dr. Nicholas Santos will be joining us from USA to talk about this peace initiative, of which he too is part and has been giving his own contribution to seeing that peace return to the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon. Bomotongina Gladys is here as usual, and she is going to read for us the headlines in the French language. Bonjour Gladys et bon début de la semaine et good new month or start of the new month.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lasha Kinsley, et bon début de la semaine et bon début du mois de novembre aussi à
Yes,
vous.
November, November month. We are gradually moving towards Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Bonjour à vous qui nous regardez et merci de nous retrouver pour cette nouvelle édition de Débrief. Alors ce matin, nous allons commencer avec le journal Le Jour qui nous parle toujours du problème d'insalubrité au Cameroun, en intitulé « Les rues de Douala puent ». Des ordures débordent des bacs et jonchent le sol dans les coins et recoins de la capitale économique, mettant ainsi les usagers mal à l'aise. Les détails sont donc en page 4 de ce journal. En nécrologie, le journal Le Jour nous parle de la mort de Jean-Louis Ndokmo et nous donne donc les détails dessus en page 9 de ce journal. Nous continuons ce matin avec l'économie qui parle de la canne Total Énergie 2021 et se pose la question de savoir si Isacam sera prêt pour le jour J. Il revient donc sur le fait que depuis quelques semaines, les agents d'Isacam sont en arrêt d'activité pour aérer de salaire. Les détails sont en page 6 et 7 de ce journal. En page 5, l'économie nous parle de la baisse des prix des produits alimentaires dans les villes de Yaoundé et de Douala. Nous terminons ce matin avec Essingan qui parle de la présidentielle de 2025. La Léquier appelle à la candidature du président Paul Biya. Les détails sont donc en page 5 et 9 de ce journal. C'était tout pour votre revue de presse de ce lundi en langue française. Place à la découverte de ces journaux en langue anglaise avec toi, Lasha Kinsley.
Thank you, Bomotongina Gladys. Let's kickstart with the Lone English Daily, the Guardian Post newspaper, which is focusing on what the paper terms fresh hope for return to normalcy in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. For the first time since the crisis erupted in 2016, key Anglophone actors, separatist kingpins, are participating or having endorsed a forum in Canada to seek solution to end the conflict in the northwest and the southwest regions of the country. They are meeting in Toronto, Canada to seek a peaceful way of out of the crisis that has been plaguing the two English-speaking regions for 5 years and counting. Now, we stay with the Guardian Post newspaper to talk about Protestant churches that have pressured the government of Cameroon to review electoral code in the country. The Council of Protestant Churches in Cameroon, CPCC, has called for a reform of the electoral code in Cameroon and in order to render the democracy in the country more credible. The body of clergy have pressured the elections, Cameroon Elecam, as well as the National Assembly and the Senate of the country in to take immediate action in that effect or to that effect. More details on page 4 of this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. Over in Yaoundé, we are told that the Yaoundé City Council has constructed and handed over police stations to government. Two new ultra-modern police stations constructed by the mayor of the Yaoundé City Council, Luc Messi Atangana, in neighborhoods of Olizwa in Yaoundé 3 subdivision and Caron in Yaoundé 4 municipality, Fundi division of the central regions of Cameroon. have been handed over to the General Delegation for National Security, DGSN. Messi Atangana handed the keys of the both structures to the Delegate General for National Security, Martin Bangangele. That was in Yaoundé in two separate ceremonies on October 29, 2021 in Yaoundé. More details in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. We take you to the Post newspaper. The Post newspaper is focusing this morning on Anglophone crisis. Anglophone leaders, Ambazonia actors, civil society organizations meet to build trust, according to the set newspaper. A high-level leadership retreat bringing together diverse groups of Southern Cameroonians, leaders across religious, traditional authorities, civil society, non-state armed groups, and women and youth groups is wrapping up in Toronto, Canada. According to outlined objectives, the leadership retreat is expected to cultivate and begin nurturing trust amongst the Southern Cameroonian leaders across religious, traditional, civil society, and various armed groups fighting for independence of Anglophone regions. The retreat is also expected to come out with an agreement on a framework to enhance access to education, humanitarian aid, and to uphold human rights in the crisis-hit regions of the country. The four-day retreat is organized by the Coalition of Dialogue and National and Negotiation, CDN, an international non-governmental organization of Southern Cameroonians are seeking to find a pathway to credible mediated negotiations to end the spiraling Anglophone crisis in the two English-speaking regions of the country. We take you to the Horizon newspaper. The Horizon is also interested in the armed conflict in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiation mandated to build negotiations team. The Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiation, CDN, which convened the Toronto meeting, calls for prayers and patience as delegates deliberate on the best path forward for all Southern Cameroonians. We end with News Watch, newspaper News Watch. This morning is interested in this exclusive interview granted British High Commissioner to Cameroon. The British High Commissioner makes a strong outing on Ambazonia independence struggle. Thank you for watching, televiewers. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions this morning. And we are receiving, like I earlier mentioned in the course or at the beginning of the program, Dr. Nicholas Santos, who is joining us from the United States of America. Good morning, Doctor, and good to have you this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha Kingsley. Good morning, viewers. It's a pleasure to be on my media prime today. And I wish we are going to have a very good conversation. Thank you.
Okay, we are talking about this meeting ongoing in Toronto, Canada, of which you equally sent in your own contribution. We are seeking a pathway to peace in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Are you hopeful, taking into consideration that some key separatist leaders were part of the meeting or are part of the meeting, something which had never happened since the crisis erupted in 2016?
Yeah, Mr. Lasha Kingsley and viewers, when you ask that question, whether I'm hopeful or whether I'm happy, I should tell you that I'm the happiest person on earth. The happiest person on earth because it's always been my wish that we should come together and discuss about a pathway to ending this crisis.
Okay. And the meeting is to like laying of foundation stone to, negotiated settlement to get the regions out of what we are having or we've been having for the past 5 years.
Yes, Mr. Lasha Kingsley, you know that this is not the first meeting that the Coalition for Negotiation and Dialogue they are holding. There was a first meeting which was online and that was open to everyone. In that meeting, there were resolutions that were reached at or were arrived at. And these resolutions were some sort of a building block to this new meeting, this second meeting. And as you know, the only issue that is at stake right now is to find a platform of unity amongst all the leaders of the various factions of the separatists. Because in that meeting that has just taken place, there was the absence of the Sako Ekome and Chris Anu-led faction. I think all the other factions were represented, like the Consortium, the ADF of Ayabacho Lucas, and then you also had religious leaders and other members who have been taking part in peace initiatives. For example, during the last meeting of the Coalition for Negotiation and Dialogue, we had my Peace Task Force initiative. We contributed under the platform of the Humanitarian and the Peace Commission our ideas on how to return normalcy in the Northwest and Southwest regions. But as you know, as usual, there are disagreements. There are disagreements on some key issues. The key issues in disagreement here is the quest for peace. The quest of peace, many are saying that there can be no peace without justice. And then when it comes to dialogue, they say there can be no dialogue without mediation and negotiation.
Okay.
And so that is the wild card on the. Those are the wild cards on the table.
But are you hopeful that this coalition for dialogue and negotiation, the NGO, is credible enough and has that that power to be able to do this magic or make this magic happen? To be candid enough, to be candid, I want to appreciate the organizers for the coalition for dialogue and negotiation, because these are professionals. These are professionals who are mostly known as political, like seasoned doctors and lawyers and teachers and all members of the civil society who are inviting the stakeholders of the crisis to come and bring on board their ideas on what they think can serve as a platform on which they can work on, because the organizers of the coalition for dialogue and negotiation are not members or part of the separatists or part of the federalists. They are just individuals of honorable professions, like some of my colleagues in the United States, UK, and others, who decided to come up and convene this kind of meeting, whereby they will invite those of us who have been active in the various areas of this crisis. There's this tendency. There is this tendency, and what many refer to as conspiracy theory. Each time somebody comes up with an initiative that will help bring peace to the restive regions, it's either the person is bought by the government or the person is working for the separatists. How do we keep these kind of theories to ensure that these people... Mr. Lasha. Yes. That is the first problem I did mention to you, is that we have disagreements, no doubt, even among the participants, and then we have a group that is not represented there because they have their own agenda. Let me remind you that in this particular crisis, which is normal with any other crisis, when we get to armed struggle, you have people who think that an elephant has just appeared, that they deserve their own share of the cake. So everybody sees this an opportunity whereby he will be pulling the leg or the head or the hand of the elephant and claim that I am the one who is in control. For example, the Sako Ekome and Chris Anu faction are heading towards Swiss. They have a Swiss mission which they have been talking about for all through this while, Dog of the Swiss initiative, which they went there and said they were doing capacity building. And in their opinion, everybody should fall behind them, whereas the commission, the Coalition for Negotiation and Dialogue are also doing their own initiative. And it comes to a situation where when one person invites you for the other initiative, you don't want to go because you want everybody to align behind you. And that is greed. That is the greed. One out of 10 is minimal. If just Sako faction is not taking part in the dialogue, probably we have to move forward. Good. But we also have to point out, that there are people who are benefiting from this crisis, not only from within the separatists or those abroad.
because there are also people who are benefiting within it from the government and who don't want the crisis to end. So any time we try to pull towards peace, you see that our more greatest obstacles to peace comes from people within the government as well.
To the detriment of the local population and the nation Cameroon?
Yes, yes, there is a big problem here in that if we have to succeed in achieving peace that we want, we have to fight the obstacles to peace. We have to identify those within the government ranks who are against peace. And we have to identify also those who are on the separatist side or on the federalist side who are against peace as well. Because you see, any peace initiatives we have led, like the Peace Task Force Initiative, the Ghana Peace Conference Initiative, the Swiss-led Peace Initiative, the Toronto CDN Initiative, which began with an online webinar, you see that there are always people who will be able to boycott. There are always people who will be able to boycott, and they bring very solid rhetorics to challenge the peace. They will say, there is no peace without justice. How do you go about to do justice when you cannot sit peacefully, when smoking guns are on the air? That is the problem. Because if there is no...
Okay, my colleague has a question for you, doctor.
Ok, merci beaucoup, docteur. Pourquoi avoir choisi le Canada comme terre pour cette initiative? Est-ce que ça ne va pas créer une restriction pour d'autres personnes qui auraient aimé participer à cette initiative particulière?
Okay, thank you very much for that very good question. As you will understand, you know that the stakeholders who are in the diaspora, who are behind this struggle, most are scared. Most are scared because of what happened with the Naira 10. Those who were Ayoktabe, Seseko, and the others who were picked up in Nigeria. So it becomes a situation now that the whole of that area is very difficult for any of them to convince them to participate in any meeting of whatsoever because they are scared for their security. They're scared of their lives. So whatever is happening in the diaspora is to assemble all those who are the leaders of the various factions and projects and also other initiatives that wants to see peace, to assemble in a country which has protection for their lives. And it's not the first time that those in the diaspora are proposing places whereby they can hold meetings in order to reach an agreement that they can table to the international community and to the state of Cameroon on how to go about this conflict, how to go about a peaceful resolution. So Canada has always been one of the places that have been chosen by...
Is it because of the kind of, like you all know, Cameroon and Canada, those are the only two bilingual countries that we have in the world, no, and their own kind of government. Is it because of the peculiarities that Cameroon and Canada share?
No, I don't think so. The first thing you have to look about is the security of the participants. The security of the participants.
Okay.
If the Commission for Negotiation and Dialogue, if they had to convene, some of the key leaders or the frontline leaders of the various separatist movements, they were convened in Canada because these are the places that they have opted that they could possibly attend meetings. I think Johannesburg is another avenue where in South Africa, and then also Ghana. Even with Ghana, there was a lot of skepticism with Ghana because they are always, they want to have where there's maximum protection of human rights, whereby we will not have a situation like what happened in Nigeria before.
Okay.
But however, Mr. Lasha, let me make this point very clear that whatever meeting is being held and whatever resolutions are being arrived at, it is just put in paper and channeled to the authorities, the international community, and to the government of Cameroon and all other stakeholders to understand what their proposals are as a roadmap moving forward to arrive at a lasting solution.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure having you. We must say you did a lot of sacrifice, as we all know. It's still 4 a.m. in the United States of America. You sacrificed to be part of this program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lasha Kingsley. Hope to see you people again next time when I'm invited. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. We are back in the studio, televiewers, and joining us is Amadou Tante. He is a human rights defender, and apparently we are almost getting out of the studio. You were caught up by traffic on the way. Thank you for joining, sir.
Good morning once more, Mr. Lasha. Thank you very much. At least good morning to the telespectators of my media Prime Television. It's always a pleasure for me to be a guest on your program.
Okay, rapidly, we are talking about dialogue and coalition for dialogue and negotiation, which just championed a meeting in Toronto, Canada, to seek a pathway, out of the crisis that we have in the Northwest and Southwest region. Are you hopeful this time?
Thank you very much. At least let me say I'm hopeful. At least it's a good initiative. I think we have been soliciting for something like a dialogue. And first of all, start with the dialogue, which we wanted to start with an intra-Anglophone dialogue. We have initially said that in our recommendation with the concerns African Northwest and Littoral, we have always said that we want an intra-Anglophone dialogue. That's a dialogue where all the Anglophone actors will come together and first of all brainstorm on who to represent them when the dialogue time comes, and their own recommendations. So this one is a welcome initiative. At least it's just a sign to show that our people should be hopeful that there's a possible way coming out of the crisis. Even though we have some of our leaders, frontline leaders, are not seems not to be okay with the initiative. We are praying for them that at least let's privilege the interests of our people. Let's go there and listen to what the people want to tell us. If we are not going there to attend the meeting, does not obviously mean that you must accept what we said there. You have the right to your own opinion, and we have solicited for a neutral ground. And I think Canada is a neutral ground, and something possible. We are believing that something positive can come out of
that. SACO was not part of the team.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, because the interim government was not part of the team, but virtually all of the other factions were present. We are just praying that these people should privilege the interests of our people, Cameroonians who are Anglophones who are dying on a daily basis. Let's keep personal egoism aside. Let's keep pride aside and look for the interests of our people, because our people have been dying for more than 5 years, and we have been trying every day, but nothing else seems to be done. But this one is just a sign, and this initiative is just a sign to tell us that at least that someone somewhere is listening to what our prayers. Some people were asking who has organized the inter-Anglophone dialogue and all the rest. I don't think this one is a question that we should ought to have. People will keep asking this question now. It will be taking more time away. I will not make any sense. Let's concentrate on looking on way out of this crisis. Stop saying that whosoever is organizing this program, I don't think it is a matter of. I don't think it's important. The most important thing is that we should go there and hear what the people want to tell us. If we are not satisfied with that, let's go withdraw back and tell them that we are not satisfied with this one, and because this one is coming now because the major national dialogue has failed, and equally the initiative by President Kanatumi did not work. It was prohibited by the government, and that is why this one is coming. Had it been the major national dialogue worked, we ought not to have been here today. We are like assuring Cameroonians that this one is one in Toronto.
It was just a step towards. How can you say it didn't work? It was just a step.
No, there are stages, because for us to come out of the crisis, we need different stages. And I'm telling you that if this one does not work, another stage will obviously come after this. So that's why we are saying that it's necessary, at least for our people, our leaders, to go there and listen to what the people want to tell them.
We learned that the SACO-led government is saying that they are interested, but in the Swiss talks, they are not interested in what the coalition for dialogue and negotiation is out for.
When they are saying something, are asking questions, other partner will be tempted to ask questions too, and we will end up asking questions. When the government will say that you are asking us to come on a Swiss talk, we invited you on major national dialogue, you never came. You are invited us to come. Why are you inviting us to come on a Swiss talk? And the other people will start saying that we are inviting you on the Toronto talk. Why are you not coming? We will keep asking questions, wasting time, and people will keep dying. Properties will keep being destroyed on a daily basis, and this one will not take us anywhere. I don't know if by boycotting by boycotting this ceremony will help us. At least we are saying that peace is the only way out, and that's what we have been praying for. At least this is a good step forward. At least I will sit down, brainstorm, and see what the resolution they can take to push forward for the main negotiation, which we think might be coming at any time from now.
Okay, thank you very much for coming. We are out of time, and we hope to have you some other time, despite the challenges we face today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
At least you.
Because my 1 minute here is very, very important.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming. Thank you to televiewers of my media Prime TV for taking our time to watch this very first edition of the program live on my media Prime Television. Hopefully we'll be with you tomorrow yet again for another edition of What the Papers Must Have Said. The program was produced by CHRISTAIN TEBONG. For presentation, we've been Bomotongina, GWLADYS, and myself, LASHA Kingsley. Bye-bye.